It's so very special today. Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Yeah, like I said, welcome to this very super extra special bonus happy holidays extravaganza edition of Adventure Bound. And my name is Wade Acuff, and man, if we can live up to that title, we're going to be onto something. Well, welcome in. If you're not familiar with what Adventure Bound is, well, for the last few episodes, 5 episodes, we've been talking about a few ways to help build and create an illustrated self-published book. And today we're going to mix it up a little bit. As you can tell, there's a few decorations around. We're having a little holiday get-together here on Adventure Bound, and I'm glad you guys are with us. Let's see, taking a look at chat. Yes, absolutely. Happy Krampus knock, everybody. If you guys took a peek at the thumbnail, yeah, there may be more Krampus goodies ahead. But to get started, we're going to just kind of roll over into making some decorations. If you're familiar with what we did, well, last year, it's been a year. Had a little giveaway with some decorations, and then we talked a little bit about that. And we're going to jump into some of that and some of how we can create some things with the symmetry tool. And let's just see what we can do with that. Also, you know, even for me, it's a little bit early for like full on holiday, you know, Christmas spirit. It takes a while for me to get warmed up, but I've been doing some travel lately, and that kind of got me into the mood a little bit. Let's see. All right. Yeah, just kind of get into the mood a little bit, and let's start some vibes on that note. They're supposed to be holiday-themed vibes. We'll see what happens. Yeah, very dapper Wade. Thank you. Yeah, I like to dress up for the holiday specials. Also, if the music is too loud, let me know. And let me check over on YouTube. What's up, Jack? How's it going? Jack, thanks so much for being a mod for us. Rivers Ash Productions, hello, how's it going? All right, let's go. So, when I was thinking about what we might be doing today and talking about holiday-themed things, and remembering back to holiday decorations of the past, you know, there's a couple things that come up that just pop into mind, and please chat, shout them out if you have any. So things like Christmas trees, you know, little, you know, Christmas trees. Let's see. Hopefully we can. Oh my gosh, already off the charts here. We can do better than that. Christmas trees, and then maybe like, I don't know, a little star or something up top. Christmas tree, cool. All right. Then I thought about, you know, like a wreath, blah blah blah. Here's a wreath. Maybe a little holly berries. Holly berries. Yeah. I don't know. Something like that. But if you guys have it, Yule logs. Yeah, well, yep, there's a Yule log. Speaking of Yule logs, there might be a little special Yule log thing happening. I don't want to give any secrets away, but stick around for that, or stay tuned, or keep an eye out. Maybe is. But then there's like a Yule log dessert, I believe. I don't know. This is supposed to be a fire. This is not a donut, Jack. I'm sorry. I know it may look like a crusty donut, but it's not a donut. Snowman. Okay. Yeah, we're getting there. Snowman, and you know, gotta have the top hat, I guess. Super quick. What else? Well, we've got those are kind of standard. Snowflakes. Yep. Snow globe. Okay. What's up, Stony? How's it going? Well, let's take some of these and figure out if we can make them with the symmetry tool. If you're not familiar with the symmetry tool, if you are on your brush or any kind of paintbrush, or have those options available, you can't get it on the move tool, but if you're over on your brushes, there's a little butterfly icon that if you pop down, it's the symmetry tools, and they have various ones. We're going to use a couple of these today. We're not going to jump into all of them. I believe there definitely was a going way back, there was a Photoshop Daily Challenge where I covered the symmetry tools. There's also various other resources out there. But let's just start off with a vertical. And you do, when you press this, you do have to press Enter to lock it down. And then you get options where you can start painting and drawing. So we could do our Christmas tree this way, right? Wow, that dude's fluffy. Why not a fluffy Christmas tree? I don't know. And then maybe there's a stump. Also let you have the little star action if that's what you're going for. But it's a real quick way to kind of give you, some options on making, these shapes. But it doesn't have to be just drawing. I will say the more, it can be in CPU intensive. So be careful. The more, let me just show you that real quick. Let's just make a new layer. And if you create a new layer and you don't turn off your symmetry, you will continue to draw with the symmetry tool. So you can turn it off right here. But let's go to something that's going to be a little more robust. So the mandala, and depending on the amount of segments, I'm going to crank this up a little bit. Let's go 5. Enter. And it gets kind of slow. The closer you are to the center, the better. So one way to get around that is to have a high resolution canvas and just work from the center, and you get a little bit more speed, and then you can just scale up your drawing. But really fun to play around with if you haven't played. I think we made skateboard decorations or a skateboard pattern or something using symmetry tools. But we're almost making a snowflake here. We'll save that for a little bit later. But as you can see, as I'm getting closer to the edges, it's a little bit, takes a little bit more time for it to catch up. Let's see, what do we got going on in chat? No Christmas crackers in the, what's a Christmas cracker? Jack's posting donuts in the YouTube chat. I like it. I like it. There's definitely Christmas donuts, right? All right, so that's enough of that. Just wanted to show you that it can be a little bit intense, on your machine if you don't watch it. And a little workaround for that. I'm going to trash this one. And let's see, what did we have? We did a tree. We can make a better tree. Let's make a better tree. I mean, nothing wrong with this guy, but let's actually get into it a little bit. And I'm going to jump right in here with some color and just start, I don't know, maybe throw a base color down. I'm going to grab something in this kind of greenish towards the yellow, and we can work with our shape if we want. We'll just have that on in the background, and I'm just going to scribble this out. I'm using the chalk brush that I have been using quite a bit throughout the episodes of Adventure Bound. Also, if you have any questions while we're doing this, let me know. Yeah, I do want to make sure. I thought biscuit was the cookie and biscuits are interchangeable. Come on, please inform me. They like to be well informed. Also, is anybody watching doing Krampus activities? Like, are you dressing up, or are you going out and scaring children? Probably not that part. If so, let us know. All right, so now the tricky part of this is if you're not trying to light this any specific way, like if you're trying to go for just a generic thing, you would have to turn off your symmetry if you wanted to get a specific lighting. But we're just kind of going for something relatively generic. And I am going to start a new layer on top. And I'm kind of thinking about this as layers of, it's almost like fur in a way. Just layers of these trees, evergreen, you know, leaves laying down. It's not really how they lay down, but I think it'll work for our purposes here. You can make this as painterly as you would like as well. Man, I'm not too mad at this. You can kind of tell the repetition after a while. And that's the kind of thing you'd probably want to turn off, and we'll do this in a minute. And then go in and just make it your own by, you know, not having it be so symmetrical. Let's see. Now, I do like some dark, mysterious, ambient music playing. I like where we're already going with that. Oh, what did Jack say about the cardboard? Oh, crack. Yeah. A cracker. Yes. All right. I'm going to add some even brighter highlights to this. I don't know if this is quite working for me, but it's kind of getting there. Oh, and you can use the brush or the eraser when you're working in symmetry with the symmetry tool on. I'll show you a couple of the things you can't do in a minute, just so you're aware. And I think it's time to turn off the symmetry. You know what? Let's add our star, I suppose. And I've got all these layers now. I have not named them, but you know, go name them if you're into that sort of thing. No, I highly recommend naming your layers. You know, if you're into organization and being, you know, organized. All right, let's turn our sketch layer off as well. Skadoosh. I'm gonna come back here and grab color to just make, you know, maybe a little trunk. Yeah, you could go so far as to like add a little pot or a little stand for this to be in. I'm just gonna leave it as is, and I'm gonna turn off our symmetry. Let's go up here, turn symmetry off. And I think I want to start, I'm going to turn our highlights off for now and dip back into this middle range, this mid-tone. And if we do the value scale, you can see that it's like, it's closer to middle gray. It's not a highlight. And that's just a hotkey, Control Y. I have that set up to be able to view black and white. I'm just doing this to kind of change up some of this symmetry so it doesn't look so symmetrical. A little bit, something more organic. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. We will be jumping around quite a bit. FYI. Kind of jumped up a little bit in value. Didn't really mean to, but you know, we knocked out a real simple Christmas tree pretty quick with the symmetry tool. I'm not saying it's, you know, magical yet. It's not quite magical. Yeah, skirt. Yep, usually a skirt on the bottom there. The sass, yes. All right. Okay. What are we doing here? Okay, trying to mix up the symmetry. I'm really just making a few strokes that are different on each side, just so that's a little bit more organic. Not really going to, you know, redraw this entire tree, but I do want to do that to this highlight layer as well, with the symmetry off. And you could make this as realistic, as painterly as you want to try and make it. I know that we tend to, when using the symmetry tool, I even fell into this trap right when it was just coming out for Photoshop. I was like, man, this is a great little tool just for sketching. I was like, no, it can be for painting. Like, I don't have the example up, but I made a menorah last year using a lot of the symmetry feature, and it's fairly painterly. I don't have an example, but I'm just saying it doesn't have to be just for sketches. I tend to still do a lot of sketching with it for symmetry-based items, mainly because it's quick. I don't have to think about what something looks like on the other side because I've already got it figured out. All right, so just a few things to make sure this isn't super symmetrical, and then if you ever need to, you can turn on the symmetry tool. Last use symmetry, and you can grab this. And if you wanted to, go back at it, you could. And maybe we'll add some star magic or something. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Then we can even, like, new layer, go into color dodge, even clip it to our star, and then we can really brighten this up if we want. Oh, it's on. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's right. Something like that. All right, let's move on to another one using, well, we could use, I'm going to group all of this so that we can take a look at it later if we want to recap. I'm going to put this all in a group and name it. Look at this. See, I am naming layers. Don't come at me. I'm naming groups. I can't be bothered with naming layers, but groups, that's where it's at. Is anything, that's the key, Marcia. That's the key. Is it anything ever really symmetrical? Well, yes, but also no. It's very, very wise, I know. But yeah, things can appear symmetrical, but that's why I like to go in and kind of tweak outlines or not outlines, silhouettes of things to make sure, we're getting there. All right, so let's see, we've done. We can't do that with the symmetry tool on. Wah wah. All right, so we've got, you know what? Let's do a check. How about that? Instead of an X. Let's move over to, let's do a wreath. Deep thoughts, that's right. All right, going to turn this last use symmetry, which it doesn't matter for this because we're starting over. But I do want to let you know. Oh, so that's one thing too. If you press another tool, it will take you out of the symmetry tool. But once you go back into your brushes, it will pop back up. You can also hide this if you want, and it will still work. I do like to work with it hidden. Let's see, show, but you can also transform. In this case, if we wanted to move it, enter, boop, 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 and then transform. We can move it somewhere else. Say there are two things in a scene, but you want them to have, their own separate symmetry. There you go. So just to let you know, but we could start the same way we did. We'll make a little wreath here. We won't, like I said, won't spend a lot of time on this. But let's say we want a wreath. Now, okay, that's cool. But you see how much of this circle, if this is our wreath, you see how much of this is kind of like me going, this is kind of circly. That's an official term, by the way. It's looking sort of circle-ish. Well, let's let the symmetry tool help us out a little bit more. Let's just clear this one out. That is not clearing it out. let's see, turn it off, delete. And then I want to choose, let's go to radial. And this will help you out, I think, because you have a less of a span to cover. And that is far more a circle than what I was just making. You know, and you can also turn on your smoothing if you want it to be a little bit smoother. Fine, absolutely. So let's knock this out as fast as we can. I'm gonna bump that smoothing back up to, 0, sorry. I usually work with no smoothing. Let's see. Also waiting for more symmetry tools in the iPad. Ooh, yeah, I'm not touching that one. Let's see. Okay, so we sort of have a circle looking wreath here. And I'm kind of just sketching this out. I'm not really like adding individual leaves or anything. I'm just kind of making a little bumpy look to this. Doing the same thing I did, except this time, you know what? Well, we'll keep adding multiple layers. It's fine. And then I'm just gonna make a little bit of marks all over this. Again, not going for any real lighting here, just a straight up. I can tell too that this is not a circle, and that's okay. It's fine. And like I said, super quick, not really stressing it. Let's add some little berries or whatever on here. Perfect. And now we can mix and match these as well. I want to go back to a vertical symmetry, press enter, and then maybe we have like a, and I think I did something similar to this last year. Probably should start. I don't know what the bow should look like, by the way. I'm just kind of riffing on what bows look like. And then, you know, we'll throw down the rest of the ribbon. But you can't really make it organic because, you know, one's going to be, it's going to be symmetrical. So what are you going to do? All right. Something like that. You know what? Let's get rid of that one. How about that? Because there's the ones that have like 4 or 5, but we'll just do a simple one. Like 4 or 5 little bow ends, I guess. I don't know what they're called. The ribbons, that's the bow part, and then the ribbon is the other part. Again, technical terms. Yeah, bows I tie are never symmetrical, says Jack. Right there with you. That's why we're about to turn the symmetry tool off and throw it out the window. Okay, maybe not that. Maybe we won't go that far. I'm going to turn this off, like I said, and then we can work on, like, you know, a separate length here, a different length. It's kind of hanging funny. Yep. We'll leave it at that. We'll let this one drift down a little bit. Is there Christmas music in the background? There is. Is it too low? I mean, it's kind of a holiday mix. And I think there are more holiday things, Adobe Live holiday things coming up next week. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what's happening. And I'm already working on the wrong layer. Not even gonna care. Not even gonna care at this point. Okay. All right, so we've made a wreath. We've used a couple of symmetry tools, different types for that. Let's get in here. Let's make a new group for our wreath. And how you want to use these, I mean, you could add this to something in Adobe Express and a heartbeat and be like, look, I made some custom, you know, Christmas cards for you. All right, let me close that out. All right. Let's see. Let's look at our checklist. You know what? Why not do one more? We've got a little bit of time. So we got our wreath done. Let's move on to our snowman. And I know you guys are like, are we doing this again? Is this really happening? You know what? It is. It is happening. Happy holidays. We're doing it. Actually, let me put that on a new layer. There we go. Turn these off again. And let's go back to vertical. Enter. And I don't know about this snowman, but we'll try it. Yeah, you could definitely use them as gift tags. I don't know if I should have looked it up. The things that, let's say snowman, right? That's what we're doing. Come on, you got to be kidding me. I don't know who said snowman, but we're practically done. Practically done already. I don't want to make it yellow snow, but I do want to add a little bit of shading that's not just gray. We'll even do, you know what? Let's not do what I just said was thinking I would do. I was about to just do, you know, like, oh, coal, you know, arm, you know, that's fine. That's fine. But if we're already here and we've already made our shapes, why don't we try and give it a little perspective? I'm going to turn this symmetry off, add a new layer. Let's start with a little top hat to set the mood. Something like that. A little on the janky side. It's okay. I never claimed to be a top hat expert drawer. But now we can beep 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 beep. And what do we want? We want hands on hips. Like maybe he's late for a Christmas party. Gotta have a carrot or something. But, you know, just like that, we gave it a little life, a little perspective. A big cigar. Yeah, that's right. This is that one, you know, that one guy from that one song. But yeah, super quick. Now we can hide this too. We make a group. Look at this. See, I'm naming groups left and right. Snowmans. Okay, cool. And now we can check snowmans off the list. Beep. Sorry, you log. Ran out of time. Or did we? Or did we? Stick around. There may be some Yule log goodness coming up. Okay. Now to really what I wanted to get on with this whole symmetry tool thing. Yes, these have been fun. These have been great. I've enjoyed every one of them equally the same, I promise. However, we're about to be haunted by ghosts of both finished and unfinished artworks of the past. So some of you may have seen this stocking before. This was done for a charity stream a few years ago. Oh man, it was a... I forget what it was called. It had a clever name. It was like caroling, but it was all chaotic. Anyway, I only bring it up because to say, oh look, I wonder how this was made. This little ornament that was made, the decoration, this decal. Yeah, let me turn off the layers here. So this is what it looked like, and you can see like this is rough. This is rough sketching, but for the final illustration, it was fine. It was perfect. You may or may not notice that it does feature monogram for my name, W.A., Wade Acuff. But, you know, here's story. But there's also other, let's see, we've got story there, we've got a story happening here, and then there's a story there. And then of course that is repeated over and over because of the symmetry tools. So I thought, this being the finished artwork, we might make something to go behind our Krampus sketch we made last year at the end of last year's holiday special. We had this little guy. I did work on him a little bit, and we'll come back to him in a minute. But I think we can make some sort of decoration to help frame this character, something that goes, you know, back here. And I'm thinking some sort of little snowflake ornament as well. But it would be Krampus themed, so I think that's what we're gonna get into. Actually, let's just do it in this document. Turn that off. Let's see. Yeah, we're already up here. Yeah, I see cat. No meeps. No, not on that one. There was no meeps on that one, unfortunately. I mean, technically, you could call one of them meeps. But my thinking, well, it doesn't matter. I left Meeps out of that because she had another part to play at that time in that event. Okay, let's see. There we go. So what I thought I would do, and this is kind of going in the theme of just making ornaments in general, we could make a few snowflakes, and they're super simple. I'm really just gonna make some super easy ones and not really, you know, just to show you how quick this can be done and still kind of passable. I would recommend, you know, taking your time with any of this stuff. I'm just kind of goofing here, and you can see how simple it is to make these snowflakes. I mean, bam, we're already there. And then you could spice it up, you know, add a few little things. There's a snowflake. Next. Let's see, I'm just gonna see the sort of the same thing we had going on. Maybe this one has a little bit of a flowery thing on the end of it. And I really am just kind of, you know, riffing on this, sketching this in, seeing what I like, seeing what I don't like. You know, a little bit, almost looks like little hearts. You know, that sort of thing. So that's 2 snowflakes. Draws a perfect snowflake. Well, I'll take your word for it, but okay, so we've got the idea, right? You can make some stuff here. Well, why don't we do sort of what we did with that story ornament, and let's make a little cramped snowflake. Let's see, let me check chat. Jack couldn't tell if the snowman was late or waiting. Yeah, I don't know. You make up your own stories here. I just give you the visual imagery. Let's see. Am I locked up? We good? Okay. All right, where were we? Okay, yeah, we're making a Krampus. I want to make like a little Krampus icon. That's kind of where I'm at. I want to make a little icon here. And I don't really know officially what a Krampi, is that the plural? Look like. So I just kind of riff off of the things I've seen in the past. They're usually like some sort of goat-ish demon. I don't know. You tell me. But I know they have little twisty horns that I absolutely love 100%. Let's see if we can make this look like that. And you could do like, you know, you could do eyes that are a little bit more sinister. I don't really think that's necessary. They just kind of need to be there. mean, you know, flavor your Krampus the way you want to, you know. What am I, the Krampus police? No. Put a little thing in there that maybe looks like tusks. I don't know. What do you guys think? What other things do you associate with Krampus Nacht? I'm gonna hide this symmetry tool, by the way. There we go. Yeah, I think that's one of the things I really like about it is that you know, just about anything, as long as I mean, really kind of anything that's fictional, go for it. Make up your own stories. There we go. Something like that. It might look a little... Yep. I think we're gonna avoid that to a degree, Clever. But yes, you're dead on. Correct. I mean, it's not like I don't have a, you know, replica sword hanging up with Christmas lights on it. But, you know, anything to minimize the violence. All right. I think this works for me. And now we're going to create our little ornament around it. And we're going to go quickly because I actually wanted to jump on to the other Krampus just for some quick lighting. So we'll change. We'll keep it. We'll keep it where it is. Now you will wind up like making. Here, let's just get to it, and I'll talk about it as I'm doing it. You will usually wind up working into whatever artwork is in the middle, and that's fine. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and make this chunky so we can get to it. Hold up. Let's start over. All right. Because I think I want to do stop doing that. I think I want to do radial with 6. There we go. All right. Now we can get to it. I think we can do some of this, some of that. You know, maybe add some points there. I don't know. Could do things as well, like in the middle, we could have like candy canes, which maybe could be the rod or stick. And you can see already, like, hold up. Yeah, it's not quite where I need them to be. So let's go ahead and switch our, well, let's work on this for a minute. We might be able to make something nice happen. We have a little bit of time. It's a little dense, but you know, I would probably you know, try and make this like you saw the other ornament. I'd probably try to make a few parts a little thinner, keep the variety of shape up. Just so that you have it's a little bit more pleasing to the eye. But you know, you can take all the time you want to do this sort of thing. We're just going to try to make this work with the time we have. All right, but I do want to add, like, this part I want to take away because it's running into our little head here. There we go. All right, so I'm going to switch back over to vertical symmetry. Press enter. Stay on the same layer, and I want to add the candy cane thing I was saying. Like maybe this is our rod, our stick. I don't know. It's a candy cane. That's what it is. How do you know it's a candy cane? Well, it has stripes on it. There you go. I mean, I guess we could do them all the way up. Candy cane. Bam. What else could we do here? Let's get rid of that a little bit. I feel like there needs to be something up here. You know, I don't know. Maybe he's king of Krampus night. I don't know. But you get the idea. There's something happening up there. We could probably add like a gift with a bow. Something like that. Let's see. And maybe it has... There we go. Cool. Good enough. I mean, we could do all sorts of things, but we don't really have the time. I'd probably add a little bit just for a little filigree and fill. Yeah. All right, so let's call that part of it done. I'll take both of these, merge them down. Made a copy of them first. Call this ornament. All right. And then let's turn it off for now. We may, if we don't have time, the idea was to drop it behind this character. But I do want to talk a little bit about back in the Adventure Bound making a book part of this. I want to talk about, like, I will be approaching and looking at old works from, you know, previous years. It's okay to go back into them and fix the things you don't like. Obviously, you know, if you've already printed them or, you know, whatever, it's a little iffy there. But as far as anything that's just kind of hanging around, it's never finished until you stop. So if you just pick it back up again, it didn't really stop. It's just you've left it for now. That's the way I like to think about it. Because I like to look at it with fresh eyes, come back to things that I haven't seen in a while. And really, you know, look at it and say, what would I fix? So I've looked at this drawing and I've done that exact thing. And there are a couple of things I would fix. I want, here, let me turn the background off so you can see it a little bit better. If anyone's asking, you've been very nice. Okay, we'll have to look at previous streams and your comments to see if that is true. But one of the things I do want to add here, I think I want to add like a pinky kind of sticking out here. Like it's just a little bit more expression that, you know, it's kind of doing this like little pinky out. Not quite out, not like holding out like, where are we? Like this. But like it's just kind of curled. It's just sitting there ready to go. And I thought that added a little bit flavor to it. I should have done it on it doesn't matter. And then the other thing is right now, this has the eyes looking at the gift, which is what I originally thought. But the whole idea behind this one was he actually was looking at the tag because he realized as he was, you know, thinking about taking this child's present, you know, for bad behavior or whatever, he realized that it is addressed to him. So it's actually for the Krampus, which, you know, makes his heart grow 3 sizes that day or something. But I do want to take a look at the lighting on this, and you can kind of tell from the thumbnail. This was the thumbnail for this episode. This was the idea. It's a little bit of a lighting from the box. So if you've ever seen me do lighting, you know, demos or whatever, I will usually draw, you know, some sort of cone to let us know. But this one is a special case because this is the light source. And I'm going to treat it as such. by using just some adjustment layers. I think I'm going to start with lighten. And I don't know if I'm going to do this with color or, let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm not sure. No. Could even come in here with an overlay. I think that's what we'll start with. We'll start laying this out with overlay. Oh, before I forget, because we were talking about the symmetry tools, the one thing you can't do, I'm just going to use last symmetry known. Turn these off real quick, and we're back in here. Just to be aware, if you make a selection and you switch back over to your brush, it is not going to make the selection on the other side. So, you know, if you wanted to think you're going to trick the symmetry tool into making crisp, clean lines this way, not happening. So there are other ways to do that, but just to let you know, if you're like, why is it not working? Well, that's why, because as soon as I deselect and start drawing, we're back. All right. I didn't want to forget that. All right. Where were we? Back to our drawing here. Okay. So a couple of ways we can do this is I can start thinking about where this light is going to come from. Right now, I'm going to switch over to my lasso tool, and it is set to add. If you look up here, you'll see that it's set to add. So every, let me deselect it. Every lasso I make, it just adds to that selection. And if you hold down Alt or Option, you can deselect from that. So that's how I'm going to do right now. I'm going to start grabbing these areas that I think the light will be hitting. Probably won't take too long to do this. We're not going to have a lot of time to do, you know, really flesh this out. We've only have a few minutes, but and it's interesting when you have a light source because everything in here is going to be glowing. It's just the things that are not going to be hit by the light. You know, even in the thumbnail, it's wrong because there was shading happening right here at the point that the present is sort of touching the beard. It looked good, which sometimes, you know, the rule of it looks good can go a long way, but probably not correct when you're thinking about lighting. And everything back here should be in shadow. So let's paint this in. I have our selection ready to go, and I'm going to go back to our lasso tool, and I'm going to add, I think maybe this ear would start to be, boom, and then probably top of this. It just depends on how you want this to work. And how far this light would go, because, you know, probably going to be a little bit less as it gets away from the source. So we can kind of start dimming these down a little bit. Even these further out ones. And now I probably will make an adjustment here because the tag, even though it might be rolled back a little bit from the light, and you know, as the object kind of moves away from the light, you can even see it in my hand. See how it gets more of a shadow as it is facing away from the light. The plane of it is as I come forward. You see it brightens up. That's sort of what this tag is doing. All right, so that's a good start, I think. But it's not very painterly, so I would come back in here and start, you know, fading some of these out. Picking and choosing, like this area where this beard tucks back definitely would be in shadow, which means that, and I'm just erasing back into it. Oh, I totally don't know what's going on in chat right now. I look down for 1 second and try and paint, and there's a whole conversation, which I enjoy. I enjoy seeing. Let's see, let me check over in the YouTube chat. All good. All right. Probably lessen the light on the back of the eyeballs, which, you know, kind of a thing. Can give a brow a little bit of light. And I do prefer painting, but I was just wanting to show you that, you know, that little technique is completely valid. Because it got us our highlights really quickly. But then you're going to start dealing with bounce light and all that stuff. And we do not have time for that, unfortunately. All right. I don't know why the box is glowing. Maybe it's a, you know, a miracle of some sort. Kind of like this bonus episode. All right. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close to the end. But I do want to jump in here with another layer of... well, you know, we can keep using overlay because it's just going to lighten and darken according to its the mid-tone that it, or whatever tone it's over. So if it's darker over this tone, it's going to make it darker. So I have the same, I just color selected it and it is not making it any darker with overlay, but as soon as I select a darker color, it's going to go darker. It's kind of like painting, but now it's, well, kind of like painting with, I don't want to say painting with light. That's not quite what we're doing, but it's just a way to kind of easily manipulate the values with that blend mode. So we can deepen these shadows. Can even go into some of the places that probably wouldn't be that dark, but that's all I'm going to do now is start deepening some of these shadows. And we got to hurry because I do want to drop. I'm just going to bulk. I'm going to select this outline shape, Control H to hide, and then drop in some darker values here. And you can really work on this and massage this for ambient occlusion purposes, which is, you know, like as an object gets closer, there's a little bit deeper shadow. Again, not a lot of time here for that, but I'm liking where this is going. I am going to clean this up if I can find it. Oh, yeah, deselect. I'm going to clean this up real quick. Let's open, let's turn our ornament back on, bring it down behind everything. We have two options here. We're going to totally lose our Krampus. Let me grab this, our Krampus icon. I'm going to grab this group. Let's pull our ornament. Well, pull it out behind everything. Then I'm going to grab the group, change the selection method to group. Just transform Control or Command T and pull this down. And there we go. We've got a little something going on here, a little ornament behind everything. It's unfortunate that we could do this. We can make this happen. Let's see. Let me turn this back to layer. Grab this. Let's see. We could have multiple of these. So that we can see the icon if we want to. Something like that. I think that's working. Thanks so much, Jack, for posting that link. I do appreciate it. Yeah, guys, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm not the most prevalent of poster. But I do plan on trying a little bit harder in the new year. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is going to do it. We made some things today. So here we go. We've got this little guy with our symmetry made ornament. We've done a bunch of stuff today. It wasn't all grand, but it was fast and furious. Let's get back to, let me see. Can I do a recap in about a minute? So here's our ornament. Ornament? Ornament. How about that? We've got snowmans waiting on something. We've got a wreath. Don't look at that. We've got a tree. And we've got our Krampus. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out with us today. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little something, but I hope you most importantly had fun. And yeah, stick around for Juxtapaint coming up next, and we'll see you guys real soon. Bye, everybody. Bye.